Yes guys, welcome back to another video, welcome back to another episode of 6 Things We Learn, a series where we look back on the previous Chelsea game and we pick out 6 points of things that as fans we have learnt moving forward to the coming games. Of course it's still pre-season, we played RB Salzburg last night, we won the game 5-3. There seems to be something with Chelsea right now and high scoring thrillers. As long as we come on the right side of them, for example the 4 that we scored against Reading's 3, the 5 against Salzburg's 3, as long as we're winning it's okay, although the heart rate will suffer eventually this season. So going forward, we're absolutely phenomenal at times. Defensively, well, maybe, yeah. Decided to change things up a little bit today. I was wearing my 1994 birthday present last year from my lovely girlfriend in the live stream today for the game against Salzburg. Decided to wear it again for this video. The Frank Lampard number 8 shirt from about 15 years ago up on the wall today. I thought I'd put it there. Super Frankie Lampard, Chelsea manager, gets, oh hang on. Oh, sorry about that. Super Frankie Lampard gets his 3rd consecutive win of pre-season. I spent a lot of time narrowing down the 6 points that I wanted to make in this video today because quite frankly, this is the match I think we've learnt the most about Frank Lampard's Chelsea. And I'm going to talk about 3 players first of all before we go into some more broader things for the second half of the video. The first thing that we learn is Mateo Kovacic. Was he Eden Hazard tonight? There were times when he literally looked as though on the ball he was Eden Hazard. The way he was drifting and coasting around players. He had 3 men or 2 men on him and all of a sudden he's doing these little fancy flicks through his legs. It makes me just literally want to stand up and try and do it myself. He was so good. He was absolutely phenomenal. He seems like a midfielder reborn under Frank Lampard. I don't really know why that's a surprise, to be honest, because Frank is one of the best midfielders in Premier League history, if not the best. We can discuss that in the comments if you really want to, but I'm sure there's other things we want to talk about. He's a man with so much new confidence and it's so great to see. At 40 million, if Kovacic can play like that, and I've been saying a lot of good things about him during this pre-season, as have a lot of other Chelsea fans and Chelsea YouTube channels alike, he looks like a new player and I feel as though he was world class in that first half. 40 million looks like an absolute steal. Moving into point number 2, and it all kind of interlinks the first 3 points in this video. Ross Barkley. I mean, I've not seen a pass that good since maybe Cesc Fabregas against Watford. There were many times where Fabregas would just do the most ridiculous ball and we're all just there like, there's not actually anyone else in the world who could do that. I'm not saying Ross Barkley is quite on the level that he only sees passes that no one else in the world sees, but oh my flipping goodness. Some of those balls today from Ross Barkley, the assist for Pulisic's 2nd goal, oh my goodness me. It was tasty, wasn't it? I was in the live stream eating a flipping steak pie, some new potatoes and some gravy. That was pretty good, but Ross Barkley's ball over the top, that was something else. Seriously good from Ross Barkley. He converts the penalty, and it kind of links into a point I'm going to make later in the video. It seems as though Frank may have given Ross the nod when it comes to set pieces. He scored the goal against Reading. It was a great free kick. It was a really good penalty as well. He converted that one. It didn't look like there was too much discussion as about who's going to take it. He also was over a couple of free kicks again today, even though he didn't score one. Ross Barkley has got Frank's backing and he's being given the set pieces, which is cool. He was absolutely brilliant. He was the best player on the pitch for me. He got the goal. He got a couple of assists. That pass, the clip ball over the top for Pedro. Oh, Pedro's goal's got to be the 3rd one because I have to link these 2 together. The ball from Ross Barkley, it was sublime. The finish from Pedro was outrageous. How he manages to do that. Anybody who's writing off Pedro in a Chelsea shirt, in my opinion, is crazy. There's no way you could write off a player with that much talent. Yes, in the first half he got a bit lost. He looked like the physicality of some of the Salzburg players was too much for him to handle. He seemed off the pace, and compared to Ross Barkley and Pulisic, he was in the shadows. Pedro didn't have the best first half. The second half, he was all over the shop again. I feel as though he just upped his game, he upped the intensity because there is so much competition for places in these positions at Chelsea right now. And even Pedro, a man of his experience, he's won World Cups, he's won Champions Leagues, he's won Europa Leagues, he's won everything there is to win. He still knows he's got to fight for his place, and in that second half, that finish, you can't teach that kind of thing. I said Olivier Giroud's got the best heel in football, and I challenge you guys to fight me for it. I challenge myself now. Pedro, redonkulous. So those are the first 3 things. You can't write off Pedro. Ross Barkley was world class. Kovacic was absolutely phenomenal. The 4th point we've got to make, and it's something I've been kind of delaying for a while because I wanted to actually give myself more fuel the first time I really talk about Christian Pulisic on my channel. How good was he tonight as well? So many attacking positives from Chelsea, but the question that's been asked of Pulisic and what fans of Dortmund and people that have watched him play for the US have said, he's not the best finisher. He needs to work on his finishing to get more goals, and then we can start looking at him as a potential world-class player. I've thrown out the word world-class a lot in this video, and I feel as though some of the attacking play from Chelsea deserves that kind of accolade, deserves that kind of attention. Pulisic's finishing, the first goal was class, the second one, it was absolutely fantastic. The way he dinks the ball over the goalkeeper, the pressure from the defender, one-on-one, he finishes it, no questions asked. Even the run to give the penalty, to get the penalty that Ross Barkley converted, he's running at the defence. There was another opportunity that was very similar earlier in the first half, before we'd even scored a goal, where he went down and he was just driving towards the byline to get as close to the goal as possible. It's very exciting to see, and we've got a very good young player in Christian Pulisic. There's enough to talk about the academy players coming through, the Mason Mounts, the Reece Jameses, the Hudson-Odois, even the Rubens, who are going to break through next season and probably have their best year yet. Christian is young as well, and my goodness was he good. As for that dynamism as well, in those three behind the striker, Pulisic can play on the left, he can play in the middle, he can play on the right. Ross Barkley looks like a dead certain to start the game in the middle for me against Manchester United. If you move Pulisic over to the right, we might still be able to see the whole Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic and Ross Barkley thing. Not in that order, it'd be like Mason Mount on the left, Barkley in the middle, Pulisic on the right. But with performances like that from Pedro, you can see why his experience is still needed. Kovacic, Pedro, Barkley and Pulisic, the first four things we've learned in this video. These guys are going to be key for Chelsea next season, whether it is on the pitch every single match because they're playing so well, or if it's off the bench, potentially in Pedro's case. We need that experience and we need that class that we can call upon at any given moment to score a ridiculous goal like he did tonight. So moving on to the final 2 points of the video, the fifth thing we learnt last night, and I think that this is a broad thing that we've been questioning a lot, and I think we probably got our answers last night as to the shape and the formation that Frank Lampard is likely to use in the game against Manchester United. I've said the words 4-2-3-1 countless times on the channel. There's been many discussions had about what the best formation is. Frank seems to favour the 4-2-3-1, and for the first 70 minutes of this game, minimal changes were made. And it looks to me as though this was the starting 11 that Frank sees playing in the game against Manchester United. It doesn't look as though N'Golo Kante is going to be fit. I don't know if I'd risk him against United. It's a big game and you want your best player to be on the pitch. But if he does get injured again, if the knock is still giving him troubles, you don't want to trigger it, particularly when Jorginho and Kovacic are doing the role so well together already. So what I think we saw from Frank today was a clear statement to the players that were the 11 on the pitch. You are the boys that we are going to use going forward. I think we've made a statement as well with Ross Barkley being on set pieces. I think that's something we can get used to moving into the season. I said in my video before the game, I wanted to see Mason start on the left with Ross Barkley in the same team. When Mason Mount came on for the final 20 minutes, the intensity of the game had dropped. We didn't get to see that combination play that we wanted between Barkley and Mason Mount. And I think that the way Ross played, the assists, the penalty, the goal, his just general strength on the ball, the confidence that he has, he's definitely won his starting 11 place for me. And I think that the fifth thing that we did learn from the win against Salzburg tonight was that Frank Lampard is definitely going to start against United with a 4-2-3-1, and the 11 that we saw on the pitch for the majority of the game are his preferred starters. The final thing, and even though I've said so many positives, I'm kind of losing my voice because I was streaming tonight for like 2 and a bit hours. Defensively, I don't want this video to just be known as a negative video because we won the game, we scored 5 goals, and I've mentioned 5 things that are really positive today. We need to work on this whole defensive thing. The corners, what is going on from the marking from corners? It was shambolic, and I think there's a lot of worries about the organisation at the back. I'm sure it's something that is going to be worked upon. I think it's good in a sense that we're seeing all of these frailties, these stark, obvious things right in front of our eyes against Reading and Salzburg and other times during this pre-season as well, that we do need to work on particular things regarding set piece management, marking, zonal play, whatever it is that we want to flip and do. Pick a man, stick with a man, but don't flip and run away from your man. Whatever it is, something needs to happen because right now we're just not defending set pieces whatsoever. And also the third goal. Let's just mention the third goal. Alonso, who, yeah, I've said it, defensively he's not the best, going forward he's great. Showing again, just like, come on. Him, Zuma and Tomori, between the three of them, gave Kepa absolutely no chance with the third goal that Red Bull Salzburg scored right at the end of the game. Kind of put me in a bad mood at the end, even though you win a match and you score 5 goals. The way that we defended that final goal, it's seriously worrying. And I think that we will come unstuck multiple times this season if we don't sort it out. I don't know if it's a communication issue. I don't know if it's a positional issue in terms of where people people should be and where people aren't, whether it's a tactical thing that Frank needs to work on. The set pieces for me are the key. We have to figure that out defensively. We can't keep conceding headed goals from corners. But on the whole, it's a third win in a row for Frank Lampard. It's a third win for Chelsea. It's another 5 goals. Yet again, Michy Batshuayi, honourable mention for him. A wonderfully taken finish. He hit the first shot, good save from the keeper. Bided his time with the second. There were 3 players pretty much on the line, and he manages to smash it into the top corner. Good patience from Michy. Good footwork and a good goal as well. So honourable mention, kind of the 7th thing that we learned, is that Michy Batshuayi knows where the net is. Chelsea win again. These are the 6 things we've learned. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them today. Lots of positives, a couple of negatives. Zappacosta, I'm sorry, but what were you doing for that penalty? I'm just going to stop now because then we're talking about more than 6, and I want this to be 6 things after every match this coming season. I'm going to narrow it down. Of course, there's going to be some matches that are more exciting than others. It's going to be easier to pick things out, but as the season gets closer, this is only going to get more exciting. Thank you for all the support on the channel. We hit 20k, which is a huge deal. I'm very happy about that, so thank you for 20,000 subscribers. Confetti, add it on the screen right now. Green screen effects, they're brilliant. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. If you're not yet subscribed to the George Benson Football channel, be sure to do so. We post new videos every single day, sometimes even 2, sometimes with Chelsea players. David Luiz interview coming out tomorrow. I will see you all there. Bye-bye.